Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. It is the 2nd of April 2025. This is the main news on Camnet TV. Here are the headlines in our news tonight. Government seeks to increase CDF utilization to 98% by 2026. BALLY movement rally behind HH for 2026 elections. 35 nabbed for illegal fuel vending in CHIPATA. And in international news, Niger junta releases 50 people, including ministers linked to 2010 coup. In sports news, FAS confirms withdrawal of USA-based QUARTET from China tournament. Do join me with the details after this break.
Join us this Friday on the ministry. Host Bishop Billy Lubansa from Flaming Fire Ministries, Kabwe. Guest Apostle Derek Mutungu. Topic: Who bewitched Africa and how can it really be free? Time 20-45 hours. Only on Camnet TV.
With the news in detail, my name is Sylvia Zulu. The Advocates for National Development and Democracy, ANDD, has called on all stakeholders in the mining sector, including suppliers, contractors, employees, and the government, to exercise patience in the La Concola Copper Mines KCM under Vendetta Resources sufficient time to stabilize and restore full operational efficiency. ANDD Executive Director Samuel Banda says that Vendetta Resources officially assumed control of KCM only 8 months ago, following nearly 5 years of suboptimal operations caused by prolonged legal disputes and asset liquidation. He adds that given the scale and complexity of the resuscitating a large-scale mining asset, stakeholders are urged to manage expectations realistically, recognizing that full recovery requires time, financial investment, and strategic planning. Despite these challenges, Mr. Banda says notable progress has been made since Vendetta's return, with the company pledging an investment of over $1.2 billion United States dollars to revitalize KCM and increase copper production to 300,000 metric tons annually over the next 5 years.
I wish to call upon all stakeholders in the mining sector, including suppliers, contractors, employees, and the government, to exercise patience and provide a KCM under Vendetta Resources the necessary time to stabilize and regain full operational efficiency and effectively. As NDD, we wish to state that it is important to acknowledge that Vendetta officially took over KCM only 8 months ago, after nearly 5 years of suboptimal operations due to prolonged legal disputes and asset liquidation. Our fellow citizens and stakeholders in the mining sector, we wish to remind you that resuscitating a large-scale mining asset like KCM is indeed a complex process that requires time, financial investment, and strategic planning. Therefore, expectations for an immediate full recovery should be tempered with a practical understanding of the challenges involved. Despite these challenges, there has been significant progress since Vendetta's return, according to our observation as NDD. The company has committed an investment of over $1.2 billion to revitalize KCM and increase copper production to 300,000 metric tons annually over the next 5 years. To support this, Vendetta has also initiated efforts to secure $1 billion in debt financing. Employees so far have seen a 20% salary increment and a one-time payment of 2,500 kwacha, reinforcing the campus commitment to worker welfare. Indeed, Vendetta Resources has demonstrated that it is committed to improving the working conditions of KCM employees.
Climate-smart agriculture expert Dr. Oliver Bulaya has urged farmers to adopt conservation farming practices as a sustainable approach in improving agriculture productivity and environmental resilience. Speaking during a few-day event in Mwachisompola, Chibombo district, Dr. Bulaya emphasized that conservation agriculture plays a vital role in conserving and economic empowerment for small-scale farmers. He highlighted that this year's favorable rainfall in Central Province presents a crucial opportunity for farmers to implement sustainable farming methods ahead of the next growing season. Speaking at the same event, Cosmas Monga, chairman of the Camp Agriculture Committee from Tintima Camp, reinforced the importance of knowledge application in conservation agriculture. The event, which was attended by over 100 farmers, focused on the theme Conservation Agriculture for Sustainable Livelihood Improvement.
Bringing into our farmers issues of soil health, nutrition. Even as they engage into farming, it is important that they engage into sustainable farming that takes care of the soil and even the environment where they are. And these are issues of biodiversity enhancement in terms of agroforestry initiatives and also in terms of crop rotation and cereals, with legumes. These are very pertinent issues that could escalate higher production levels. We are talking about the issues of water conservation. It is very important for our farmers, like the government is advocating, to look into issues of off-season cropping. The rain season is getting over now. So what are they going to do as smallholder farmers during this winter period? So water conservation and irrigation systems are very, very important. And this is the time they have to plan for off-season cropping so that they engage into economic, farming throughout the year.
The only way that can help us as farmers sustainably to be productive in agriculture is conservation farming. We've learned that conservation farming helps us to produce a lot. Conservation farming helps us as farmers to conserve the soils. In conservation farming, you find that even when you receive some little rains, you're still going to get some yields which are better. So the only advice that I can give to my fellow farmers is that we should go for conservation farming, both at a small scale level and even at a commercial level. It is the only way that can help us.
The Friends of BALLY movement has called on the church, civil society organization and parliamentarians to engage in an objective debate on the proposed constitutional amendments prioritizing national interest over political affiliations. Speaking during a courtesy call on UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda, Friends of BALLY Network Secretary Fungai Meki described the proposed amendments as timely and progressive. She highlighted the presence of legal gaps in the current constitution, underscoring the need for revisions to address clauses and articles that have posed challenges in the past. Ms. Meki further emphasized that the 17 months remaining before the general elections provide sufficient time to refine the constitution, particularly on non-contentious issues.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, has yet garnered support from the newly launched movement, Friends of BALLY, the BALLY Network. The movement, which paid a courtesy call on UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda, expressed support to the government on the proposed constitutional amendments, describing them as progressive and perfectly timed. Speaking during a media briefing, Friends of BALLY Secretary Fungai Meki called on all stakeholders, including the church, civil society organizations, politicians and parliamentarians, to objectively debate the proposed amendments, ensuring that politics do not make the basis for any decisions made.
Allow us to voice out on this very important discussion on constitutional amendments as presented by the Minister of Justice, Honorable Princess Kasumi, MP. We want to call on all stakeholders, the church, politicians, civil society organizations, and our parliamentarians to debate these matters objectively, putting Zambians first above political affiliations. These 13 proposed amendments are very progressive and well-timed. We want to go into the next election having worked on these lacunas that have been problematic in the past. We have a good 17 months before the general elections. Way enough time to clean up the constitution.
The movement also endorsed President Hichilema for the 2026 general elections.
On behalf of all friends of BALLY, yes. On behalf of all friends of BALLY, hereby, yes. President HH, yes. BALLY for 2026. Yes. As friends of BALLY, yes. As friends of BALLY, yes. Therefore endorse yes. President HH yes. 2026. Yes.
Meanwhile, UPND Secretary General Batuke Imenda welcomed the movement and thanked them for their support towards President Hichilema and the UPND.
I would start by saying, the friends of BALLY, you are more than welcome. This is wonderful because it is brought about by the youth. Today, I can proudly sit here and announce that UPND today is in government because of the youth.
Yeah.
We came out in huge numbers to come and vote for President Hakainde Hichilema. Today, BALLY is in the State House.
Yes. We are all our friends of BALLY. We are all our friends of BALLY.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Osaka.
The COUP Immigration Office has convicted 2 refugees, a Burundian and a Congolese, for violating immigration laws by residing outside designated refugee settlements. Immigration Public Relations Officer Namati Nshika says Grace Tumani, 32, and Richard Luyeye, 47, were apprehended on March 24, 2025 at the Longet checkpoint along the Mongol-Lusaka Road. He adds that they were found with expired gate passes and were convicted for breaching Section 31, Clause 4 of the Immigration and Deportation Act No. 18 of 2010. Tumani was fined 5,000 kwacha, while Luyeye was fined 1,000 kwacha, both of which were paid before their return to the Mayukwa refugee settlement. Mr. Nshika says in a similar case, Mohammed Hamza, a 39-year-old Somali refugee, was convicted by the Ndola Magistrate Court on March 31, 2025 for residing outside his approved area of Lusaka. He was found in Ndola's Masala Market, where he was fined 2,400 kwacha or faced a 4-month prison sentence for violating sections 63, Clause A, and 69 of the Refugee Act No. 1 of 2010. He further states that 17 suspected illegal immigrants were apprehended in Kabwe during routine checks on March 31, 2025. Among those detained were Congolese, Burundian, and Rwandese nationals operating grocery shops without proper permits. Government has reiterated its commitment to ensuring fairness, competition, and transparency in the open access framework for fuel supply in the country. Speaking at a press briefing, Ministry of Energy Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Peter Mumba, emphasized that the framework enables eligible oil marketing companies, OMCs, to procure and transport diesel through the Tazama pipeline in a fair and transparent manner. Mr. Mumba reaffirmed that the government's role is to maintain a level playing field by ensuring the market remains accessible to all qualified participants. He highlighted that the open access regime allows multiple AMCs to utilize the pipeline, which has led to a significant reduction in diesel premiums, benefiting both businesses and consumers. The initiative is part of broader government efforts to enhance efficiency and cost effectiveness in Zambia's fuel supply chain, while fostering a more competitive energy sector.
The fuel industry has reached a significant milestone with the successful implementation of the Tazama Open Access Framework. This transformative reform aims to enhance competition, transparency, and efficiency in the sector. The Open Access System is legally backed by Statutory Instruments number 41 of 2023, ensuring transparent and efficient access to the pipeline. Speaking at a press briefing, Ministry of Energy Permanent Secretary for Technical Services Peter Mumba says the framework allows all eligible oil marketing companies to procure and transport diesel through the pipeline in a fair and transparent manner.
The Tazama Open Access Framework allows all eligible oil marketing companies to procure and transport diesel through the pipeline in a fair and transparent manner. Open access ensures a level playing field.
The anticipated benefits of open access include increased competition leading to competitive pricing, enhanced transparency in procurement, supply chain management, and operational efficiency, ensuring a stable and cost-effective diesel supply. He says the impact of open access of fuel is already being felt, with the Energy Regulation Board (ERB) announcing a reduction in the diesel pump price from 32 kwacha.54 ngwe to 30 kwacha.23 ngwe per litre.
Open access has already started bearing fruit. The Energy Regulation Board recently announced a reduction in the diesel pump price. This is a direct result of increased competition enabled by open access. You all know that diesel has been reduced from 32.54 kwacha to 30 kwacha.23 per litre.
Addressing concerns about storage capacity in Tanzania, the ministry has assured that the Tazama tank farms have adequate capacity to handle open access fuel shipments. Energy Regulation Board Managing Director says that the Tazama Open Access Framework policy will ensure Zambians benefit from a reliable, cost-effective fuel supply chain, supporting both household and key economic sectors.
$61.20. That in effect is actually a reduction of 42.1% reduction. So you can see the benefits of competition and using our own system. Now, if you look at that $84 per metric ton, it only works out, if you compare with the pump price of diesel that we approved at ERB, it's only 7%. So you can't say that if the premium is reduced.
Meanwhile, Tazama Managing Director Devson Taweta addressed allegations surrounding agrofuel, stating that the company was paid in full for diesel supplies and the payment was facilitated by Tazama with the help of the government.
Tazama does not owe agrofuel any money. Agrofuel were paid in full for the supply of that diesel by Tazama with the help of government. So agrofuel is not owed any money. Thank you very much.
Miriam Kansenga for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka City Council, LCC, has procured and delivered 5,926 desks to schools in Mandevu, Matero, and Kanyama constituencies through the Constituents Development Fund, CDF. The local authority reviews that Mandevu constituents budgeted for 3,000 desks and have been delivered 2,800. Matero constituency budgeted for and has received 1,447 desks, while Kanyama constituents budgeted for 2,333 desks and 1,679 have been delivered. LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says the other 4 constituencies, Kabwata, Chawama, Lusaka Central and Munali, did not budget for desks in 2024 but have allocated funds for 2025. Ms. Mwamba says the disparity of 1,146 desks between budgeted and delivered desks are currently awaiting clearance.
Lusaka City Council has made significant strides in improving quality education in Lusaka, procuring and delivering 5,926 desks to schools in Mandevu, Machero, and Kanyama constituencies under the 2024 Constituency Development Fund (CDF). The local authority would like to inform residents that Mandevu constituency budgeted for 3,000 desks, delivered 2,800. Matero constituency budgeted for and delivered 1,447 desks. Kanyama constituency budgeted for 2,333 desks, delivered 1,679. The 4 other constituencies, namely Kabwata, Chawama, Lusaka Central, and Munali, did not budget for desks in 2024, but have allocated funds for 2025. The local authority has addressed the disparity of 1,146 desks between the budgeted and delivered desks, as these are currently awaiting clearance. The council remains committed to ensuring quality education and adhering to CDF standards and guidelines.
Government has reaffirmed its commitment to increasing Constituents Development Fund (CDF) utilization from 56.9% in 2023 to 98% by 2026. Speaking during a senior management meeting, Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, GOVT Isialubalu, urged ministry staff and local authorities to adopt a hard-working and proactive mindset to enhance service delivery and improve citizens' livelihoods. He emphasized the critical role of town clerks and council secretaries in effectively executing the ministry's mandate at the local level. The minister highlighted the importance of CDF projects in fostering community development, citing the construction of health facilities, schools, and market shelters as essential in bringing services closer to the people. He also stressed the need for timely and impactful information dissemination to enable citizens to make informed decisions and actively participate in prioritizing development projects. The Commuters' Rights Association of Zambia, CRAS, has appealed to the government through the Ministry of Infrastructure to build pathways such as flyover bridges where pedestrians can cross in surrounding areas to avoid unwanted accidents. Speaking in an interview, the president of the Commuters' Rights Association of Zambia, CRAS, Aaron Kamuti, says that barriers should be erected along roads so that no one crosses the road unless using the flyover bridge. He has also called on police patrols to monitor thieves and criminals who attack students and other pedestrians along the flyover bridges for safety measures, as there has been an outcry from the public.
Going forward, we can do better than what we are doing. I remember very well that there were barriers there before the expansion of that road, which were restricting people to cross the road unless you use the flyover for you to use the road. But again, the flyover, there are concerns and the outcry from the pedestrians that they are being attacked by street kids and other thieves. I remember at one point, some years back, people were being beaten and thrown from the bridge, thrown on the tarmac and run over by vehicles to show that this person has been hit by the car. Yet they were being beaten up there and thrown. Phones were grabbed from students, laptops and other devices. So I think what is more important, we need to have police patrols there, or just a police post to be monitoring the situation in case of thieves or criminals who attack the students and other pedestrians, people will start using the flyover. Now, also, we need to see barriers erected along the same stretch so that no one should cross the road unless you use the flyover. And these are interventions which we want to see in other areas. For example, there was another accident which happened at Novera Mall, where those couples were killed. Every day, I live along that stretch. Every day, one person should be hit by a speeding motor vehicle. And sometimes this thing goes without reports. So where we have malls, where we have other infrastructures, I think let's have a trend of creating pathways for pedestrians, like a flyover.
Zambia Sugar has announced the launch of Project Twazabuka, a transformative initiative involving a 1.7 billion kwacha investment in the construction of a state-of-the-art warehousing and packaging facility. Speaking at the launch, Zambia Sugar Managing Director Oswald Mangwezi noted the project's potential to revolutionize project marketing and distribution. Mr. Mangwezi explained that while the company currently maintains an 8-month stock cover in storage, the new facility will extend this capacity to a full 12 months, ensuring a consistent supply to meet growing market demand. He disclosed that 60% of the project's financing will come from Zambia Sugar's internal cash flows and savings, while the remaining 700 million kwacha will be sourced from financial institutions. The construction, said to be completed within 2 years and 3 months, is expected to significantly benefit the local economy. According to Mangwezi, 80% of the work will be undertaken by local contractors, thereby fostering employment and business opportunities. Beyond the construction phase, the increased warehousing and packaging capacity is anticipated to stimulate long-term economic activity, benefiting local businesses and stakeholders throughout the supply chain. The Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association, ZANAMACA, has appealed to financial institutions and banks to collaborate with non-state actors to ensure effective loan distribution in the informal sector, emphasizing that working as a team will help identify the right beneficiaries and reduce the costs of borrowing. ZANAMACA President Frank Kamea notes that one of the biggest challenges in the 2024 loan scheme was load shedding, which disrupted businesses, adding that many marketeers struggled to generate income, making it difficult for them to access or repay the loans. Mr. Kamea also highlights that organizations such as the Credit and Empowerment Corporation, CEC, and other partners provided loans to their marketeers but could not identify potential customers.
Change is another problem that came in, where power was off and on, and that also drained our businesses. Of course, we saw CEC, one of our partners, coming in the markets across the country, dealing with our people, giving out those loans. But it was quite a huge challenge, especially that they were not actually working with the United States actors ourselves, who could at some point help them to identify potential beneficiaries of the marketeers booster. Financial institutions also, they were also working alone as usual. Products developed for themselves and by themselves, not fitting well to the informal economy. That again, there were no collaborations with us, and that's a very huge challenge. And that really has been pulling down the efforts of our people in the markets and everywhere across the country. And so it is not even known exactly who benefited from which empowerments, whether by the CEC or whether by the financial institutions that have been giving out loans to our people. And again, there are issues to do with stringent measures, put in place by, our financial institutions.
A joint task force comprising law enforcement agencies and the Energy Regulation Board, ERB, has arrested 35 individuals following a crackdown on illegal fuel vending in CHIPATA, Katete and Lundazi districts on March 31, 2025. According to Zambia Police Service Public Relations Officer Ray Hamonga, the arrests were made in connection with fuel vending and possession. He adds that the authorities seized 3,391 liters of fuel, along with 8,320 kwacha in cash, an Infinix smartphone, and 20 liters of suspected illicit liquor, kachasu. The task force on illegal fuel vending has reiterated its call for traders to obtain the necessary licenses before engaging in fuel-related businesses. Authorities have further warned that failure to comply with regulations will result in stricter enforcement actions, including arrests and the confiscation of illegally acquired fuel. The Zambia Compulsory Standards Agency, ZCSA, has issued a warning to the public against purchasing and wearing second-hand clothing, including unlabeled drinks and used undergarments, citing serious health risks. Speaking ahead of the Kuomboka ceremony, an event expected to attract an influx of traders, ZCSA Communications and Public Relations Manager Brian Hatioka emphasized the dangers associated with second-hand undergarments. He cautioned that consumers are unaware of the health conditions of previous users, making such items particularly hazardous. Mr. Hatioka revealed that in 2023, over 1,400 used undergarments, including underwear and bras, were seized and destroyed in Mongo District as part of the efforts to enforce public health and safety regulations.
Zambia Compulsory Standard Agency has held a sensitization at Kashumba Market prior to Kuomboka ceremony on dangers of some products found on the market. Zambia Compulsory Standard Agency has a role to promote a vibrant industry to ensure compliance with compulsory standards, leading to the production of quality and safe products that are readily accepted by the market so that products meet the desires and expectations of consumers. Brian Hatoka is Zambia Compulsory Standard Agency Communication and Public Relations Manager.
As an agency, we are mandated to educate the public and provide public information on compulsory standards so that consumers can be protected from products that are actually unsafe and not meeting the requirements of the Compulsory Standards Act number 3 of 2017. So here in Mongo, especially here at Kashumba Market, we are talking about two products. One of them is used undergarments and nightwear. The other one is portable spirits. We are saying no to that. Those products are banned and they are not allowed on the market. Last year in May, we seized over 1,400 pieces of used undergarments and nightwear. Here at Kashumba Market last year, we seized those products. We got a court order from Mongo Magistrates Court to dispose those products, and we disposed them through burning. But just last year, we still have the products on the market. That's why we have come back to talk to the marketeers, the traders, that these products are dangerous for you, they are dangerous for your health. Buy a brand new underwear so that you are the only user.
And Kashumba Market Chairperson Matthias Visenga appreciated the gesture, stating that they have learned more on the dangers of using second-hand undergarments.
Leza ni baba mkaufela baba kautwata bae kulikambe kwako na halalu tuhele mimane ni mwa market yakubona selingo sese lifitire mwa musika nina nikawa babamu yakatusa kubabatire kuliruko ni kutusa kueleza mane ni kuluta babamu ili kulitabaye kambe yako na hala lukone kuyambuka kakuli irutiseza uhuru matuku amangatanga torusa zibikuli amamu afutuka kai nikafa mutala suluma matuku aso anasina rashi kimatuku alukataza uhuru.
Meanwhile, those who attended the meeting also expressed their concerns and appealed to others to refrain from using unlabeled drinks and second-hand pants.
kona kuwaziwisa kuli kambakirezo kwasichava kuli batuwele kutina makutula aizizo kuli ati niyo kali afasala ula achipile wakensa kuli akawatiza kutata banotinanga makutula amancha asali amancha kuzo hati ya kukaya hakuchwala kuli amana kuchwala koni konanga kama percentage kuli wawinzi biwo percentage kona waswa na kunwa.
Musiwa Kabira, Camnet News in Mungu District, Western Province.
The Zambian Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, has announced the arrival of a new consignment of essential medicines from Egypt valued at $3.5 million United States dollars. ZAMSA Senior Manager for Corporate Communications, Bradley Chingobe, says the latest shipment is part of the ongoing government-to-government procurement agreement between Zambia and Egypt, facilitated through Egypt's Unified Procurement Authority, UPA. He adds that the agreement, valued at $24 million United States dollars, is designed to enhance Zambia's access to affordable and sustainable medical supplies, ensuring a steady flow of essential medicines for the country's healthcare sector. Mr. Chingobe noted that the latest consignment comprises 22 containers of vital medicines, including antibiotics, antidepressants, fertility treatment products, and mental health medications.
The Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency, ZAMSA, is gratified to announce the arrival of a consignment of 22 containers of essential medicines from the Arab Republic of Egypt, valued at $3.5 million US dollars. This delivery marks a significant milestone in the government-to-government procurement agreement between Zambia and the Arab Republic of Egypt, as ZAMSA has now received 68% of the total medicines and medical supplies procured through the Unified Procurement Authority, UPA, of Egypt. This is the fifth consignment received from Egypt under the ongoing contract, further strengthening Zambia's healthcare system. Among the supplies that we have received are fertility treatment products for both men and women, as well as a wide range of critical medicines, including antibiotics, antidepressants, and mental health products. This consignment underscores the continued collaboration between Zambia and Egypt in ensuring the availability of vital medical treatments in all the 3,500 health facilities across the country. It also forms part of the $24 million government-to-government procurement agreement facilitated through the Unified Procurement Authority of Egypt, aimed at enhancing access to essential healthcare supplies. In total, we have received commodities valued at $16 million US dollars out of the $24 million contract that was signed between the government of Zambia and the Arab Republic of Egypt.
This is the main news on Camnet TV. We now take a set of commercials.
Join us this Friday on the ministry. Host Bishop Billy Lubansa from Flaming Fire Ministries, Kabwe. Guest Apostle Derek Mutungu. Topic: Who bewitched Africa and how can it really be free? Time 20-45 hours. Only on Camnet TV.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those who have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain-Glo, your smart irrigation partner.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now for the rest of the news. In international news, Niger's junta has announced on Tuesday that it released 50 people linked to a 2010 coup attempt in the country. The announcement comes just 2 months after General Abdelhamid Tichian was officially sworn in as Niger's president at the National Conference for a 5-year transitional period following a new charter that replaces the existing constitution. A recommendation was made at the February conference calling for former ministers, a diplomat, a journalist, and soldiers to be freed. Imprisoned members of the government in the July 2023 COUP have also been released too. They had been arrested following the takeover that brought General Tiani, the former head of the Presidential Guard, to power. Meanwhile, former President Mohamed Bazoum is said to stay in detention despite international calls for his release. Here is a roundup of international news.
Just 2 months after a national conference gave General Tiani the green light to stay in power for another 5 years in Niger, the junta says it's released 50 people linked to a 2010 coup attempt in the country. It follows recommendations made at the February conference. Under the directive, former ministers, a diplomat, a journalist and soldiers have been freed. Imprisoned members of the government toppled in the July 2023 coup have also been released too. They were arrested following the takeover that brought General Tiani, who was once the head of the Presidential Guard, to power. Meanwhile, ousted former President Mohamed Bazoum is set to stay in detention, despite international calls for his release. Since seizing power 2 years ago, Niger's junta has cut off ties with its former colonial power, France. It's also said goodbye to ECOWAS, moving instead to form the Alliance of Sahel States, or AES, with military leaders in Burkina Faso and Mali.
The Congolese government and the M23 rebels are expected to hold direct talks on April 9 in the Qatari capital. The meeting in Doha would be the first between the two sides since the rebels backed by Rwanda captured 2 provincial capitals in eastern Congo. It follows one planned in Angola on March 18, which was aborted after M23 pulled out at the last minute, protesting European Union sanctions on its leaders. Until March, Kinshasa had dismissed the suggestion of holding direct dialogue with the rebels it considers a proxy force of Rwanda. In mid-March, Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi and his Rwandan counterpart Paul Kagame held a surprise meeting in Doha. Qatar has since hosted Congolese government and rebel delegations separately.
A new era for France after it assumed the presidency of the United Nations Security Council for the month of April, with Ambassador Jérôme Bonafont leading the governing body. One of his agendas is to steer the council to ensure it addresses the wars in Ukraine, the Middle East, Africa and Haiti.
En faveur de l'Afrique, où ces mêmes
The Security Council, well, we are mobilized for Africa with these very same principles of territorial integrity are being flouted. For instance, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, in Sudan and South Sudan, entire populations have been compelled to flee the country, their respective countries, owing to hostilities in South Sudan. The peace process has been undermined, so it will be up to the Council to keep track of those dossiers. During the month of April, the Security Council is expected to meet for its quarterly open debate on the Middle East and Palestinian statehood.
The Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has announced that 4 USA-based players from the Zambia women's national team will not travel to China for the Yangchun International Tournament due to additional travel measures introduced by the new administration in the United States. FAZ General Secretary Ruben Kamanga confirms that Captain Barbara Banda, Rachel Kundananji, Priska Chilufya, and Grace Chanda will be unavailable for the tournament following consultations with key officers, including the Zambian mission in Washington and the players' respective clubs. He has, however, reassured stakeholders that the players will remain committed to national duties and will be available for future assignments, as demonstrated in the previous international window against Malawi. He adds that the technical bench has already secured replacements to maintain the team's competitiveness. Mr. Kamanga further emphasized FAZ's commitment to providing optimal preparation for all Zambian teams participating in international competitions. The Copper Queens will begin their 2025 Yangchun International Tournament campaign on April 5th, first in Thailand in their opening match. A victory would secure them a spot in the final on April 8th, where they would face either host China PR or Uzbekistan. That's it for our main news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Government seeks to increase CDF utilization to 98% by 2026. BALLY movement rally behind HH for 2026 elections. 35 nabbed for illegal fuel vending in CHIPATA. In international news, Niger junta releases 50 people, including ministers linked to 2010 COUP. And in sports news, FAZ confirms withdrawal of USA-based QUARTET from China tournament. We now look at the Camnet verse for the day, coming from the book of Psalm 38, verse 9. Lord, all my desire is before thee, and my groaning is not hid from thee. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night and God bless you all.
us this Friday on the ministry. Host Bishop Billy Lubansa from Flaming Fire Ministries, Kabwe. Guest Apostle Derek Mutungu. Topic: Who bewitched Africa and how can it really be